Alright, welcome back everyone, I'm Evil Tim and this is Let's Play Wolfenstein. This update is brought to you by a new bathroom and giant robot ant. It's also brought to you by YouTube, which is a bit skeptical about the previous update, not that you could really blame it or anything, but never mind that. Let's get back into things immediately, we shall. We will go in here where there is this bald man who is trying to block our thoroughfare. We'll deal with him, no doubt. He's telling us we've got to tell Caroline what we found, but we don't want to tell Caroline what we found. We've got other things to do which are better than that. So he's going to tense up and do his silly axe kick, which will defeat that door, it shall. So we'll gun down these guys here who've shot that wall dead again. That's unhygienic of them, and we shall defeat them. We are a germ cleanity man. That guy over there can actually die, and we don't want that, so we'll deal with these men in a fast and efficient manner using our guns and such. So that's the last one out the way, and then we'll go back to him. He's going to start saying his line and forget to say the rest of it, which is bad of him. So let us go over here and admire his procedures. He is standing in a bad reflection, and he has a Nazi's component there. Make sure you guard that, gentlemen, because otherwise they will come back and assemble a man with 3 feet, and that will be terrible. He'll be able to climb up things no Nazi has ever climbed before, and then swat at planes or something. It will be like that movie with gorillas, it shall. But never mind that, we're going to go in here, where there was that veil door we couldn't open before, and this man here who is threatened by us, but we don't care about him. We're going to go in here and steal this man's clipboard and see if it contains more daft threats, which it does.
General Zeta. All traffic exiting the archaeological dig site outside of Eisenstadt will be thoroughly searched for contraband.
But do not search for American spies.
Any person found with stolen artifacts in their possession will be executed immediately.
Yeah, so apparently they searched them thoroughly for contraband, but not for us. That's good for us, I suppose, and we have a bit of a pause there, because that's where I stopped the video. He's afraid of us, he is. He's a wimpy fellow just because we walked through his door. This guy here, if you talk to him, he would start talking about how the black market controls everything in Isengard, even the aid shipments and food and such, which I guess is supposed to show us that we're not meant to like them because they're bad. What do you think of that, guys? I don't think anything. I'm going through this wall. I'm not part of this. Okay, so he's off. And we've dealt with the last Nazi there as well. So we're gonna click that in there, close the bolt, and then there is a ladder here. So we will have to climb up that after excruciating ourselves. And up we go. And there is the Zeppelin. Now, one thing I missed in the first video, well, second video, is that if you go up to the concrete barricade that's blocking off the road, you will find some mans there. There is a Nazi and a normal person, and they are discussing. The man is asking the Nazi guy if he can go through the barricade because he wants to see the airship, which you can see from everywhere in Eisenstadt. It's the most flimsy excuse for bypassing a barricade there has ever been in your life, my boy. Never mind that, we didn't see it, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to go down into the sewers now. We are a sewer level type gentleman. It's about time we go in here. So, what is in the sewers? Well, there is more gold, of course, because... and there is another tome here as well. There's also a door, and we will have a look at that door in a minute after we have whipped this away from its previous ownership. Right, so that's his locked complete cannery. Cannery is actually the last level in this mission hub, and that is the door to the next hub, so I'm not entirely sure we're allowed to go that near it already. I guess it's to tease us with future happenings, and a map that's much worse than this one. Anyway, these geists here are floating around. Geists, tell me the secret of the veil. Get out even the toughest stains. No, don't tell him, you fool. You've ruined the mystique for everyone now. Okay, right, so that's that out the way. So, now let's go climb in here. Now, the problem with this map, as I've mentioned the problems with Far Cry 2's map, is that really it's big, but there isn't much point to it being big. There isn't really a lot you can do in it other than find things like bloodstains and pointless balconies and stuff. This entire area here, the only purpose to it is having that one gold in it, and the balcony itself, that has nothing in it, and that has a brown stain on it, so we better get out of here. It's probably not good for us to be here. It's also incredibly hard to get out of this for some reason, so we will have to do a variety of things in order to do that. There we go, across the pointless plank that someone put here. So we'll charge ourselves back up again so we don't run out as we go through that veil door, which would, as I have said before, kill us in a violenced manner, which is bad, so none of that. These guys here aren't going to talk for a minute until we leave the area, then they're going to start talking. They don't trust us for 1 minute, so I don't really blame them, but never mind. Let's go and grab their gold, because they don't object to that, of course. Now, one of the things I have pointed out before is the fact that it doesn't make any sense for the Nazis to actually have these doors here, and that's even more true in Eisenstadt, where they have these doors in just random walls and stuff. It doesn't really make any sense to say a wizard did it if there's no reason for a wizard to want to do it, you see. Anyway, these guys are talking about very strange things, like giant glass and so on. So I imagine the Nazis are either establishing an evil genetics lab base thing, or they're trying to build a new Starbucks. It's one or the other, and I'm not sure which. I'm not sure which would be worse either. So let's smash through here and go across a roof-type travailing. Because across these roofs there is stuff. Of course, there's no other places you can go like this, but that's really the thing here as well, is that really there's only two paths in any given location. It's not an open world, it's just a slightly less closed world, and it's not really big enough to justify its own existence, or the existence of that Geist there who is flitting through walls again. They're very silly, these Geists. I don't understand them. Really, it would make more sense if the Geists had made the Veil Walls, considering that they are out all over the place and don't make any sense from a military perspective, but they didn't think of that clearly. Meanwhile, this man here is pointing out that this city isn't a very good map. That's not a good thing to point out, my boy. You're not supposed to do that. It's ruining our immersion.
But the Nazis are just too strong. We can only pray they find what they're looking for and move on.
Yeah, it would be a shame if finding what they were looking for blew up the entire city, hint hint. So, yeah, apparently everyone at the moment is despondent. They actually get less despondent as the game goes on, but we'll see that when it happens, although there's a couple of things that we could see that we won't, because I don't know what triggers them precisely. But never mind that, let's go in here and steal this man's gold as well. Why is there all this gold? It doesn't make any sense. You, sir, why is there all this gold?
A shame we couldn't have seen Eisenstadt 2 months ago.
It was still a shithole, but it didn't have Nazis in it. Okay, so we've actually cut off his line there. Not that he knows that, because he's still talking. What a silly fellow he is. Let's abandon him to his ways, to his madness and his possession of a poster of giant tanks with gun things. So, someone's yelling for us for help, so we had better go and find out what he's all about, hadn't we? Let's go through here with our silency type weapon and make sounds of cats sneezing at these men here. You, sir, I bet you're all allergic to cats, so I've brought this with me. Mein Gott, I am! Right, there we go, you see. BJ knows all of the Nazis' weaknesses, such as their heads, faces, and groins. So there's one last guy there, not that the hopeless guy up at the top of the stairs can actually deal with him, so we'll have to do that for him. He's still yelling for help, even though we've killed all the guys who were attacking him. I guess he is just needing us to give him a hand with other things. Maybe he wants us to fill out his tax return or something. You, sir, what do you got to say for yourself? This is the Partisan. He is a delicious type of cheese, which goes well on pizzas.
So I need your help. You'll need to go to the warehouse and steal...
Oh, the warehouse, yes, that fantastical location.
The warehouse should be on your map.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a warehouse. Of course it should be on my map. Unless it's not in town, in which case you're being an idiot. But never mind that. He's going to stay there. We're going to smash this table in frustration at his ways, and then we are going to go back downstairs past him, and we will see what he's all about there. This guy doesn't even get a name. He's got a nice gun, but he hasn't got a name. That's, I guess, what he traded for it. I guess if this occupation ends, then he won't have a name at all, and that would be even more inconvenient for him. But never mind that, let's have a look at this intel here. This intel here is a really lazy intel, because it's just one of the background things from the intels in the previous level. I'm not really sure what use that is to us, and I think we should try to get a refund or something. Okay, that's a German out the way, and this guy here is cowering. You, sir, stop cowering, you are free!
You saved my life. You'll find payment for your kindness nearby.
You know, I would expect him to at least give me the thing as opposed to just telling me it's nearby, so I guess this isn't the payment for our kindness, because this is just some random archaeological sketches again, and I would be right to guess that. He's over there, he's going to go and climb into the wardrobe and go and find his way into Turning Point or something. He's got the same sketches as the Resistance do. Maybe that Nazi was right after all. Maybe we did everything wrong here, and we're only making the situation worse. It will be a dark game, which is about the consequences of warfare and stuff, or perhaps it won't. Anyway, there's a wave of Nazis here. They're spawning in, they are. Now, in spite of what was said in Yahtzee's review of this, the Nazis do not actually continuously respawn. What happens is the spawn waves are a lot bigger than the number of Nazis that it can spawn at once, which means that you have to kill like 10 or 15 Nazis in groups of 5 or 6, and then they'll just stop. It's a bit like in Crisis, which did that too, and this man here, meanwhile, is trying to hump a gold bar, which is unhygienic as well. He's a bad person. Anyone would think that the Nazis were trying to cause an epidemic of STDs and rubbish in this city, and that wouldn't really be necessary given this city is already rubbish. So these guys over here are talking. They've been to the hospital.
Couldn't find any record of him.
Okay, so these guys have had their friends subjected to evil Nazi genetic experiments as well, but I have heard something happening down here, so let's come back and see what it's all about. Now, if you talk to this guy over here, he will look at you. He will then wander over in this direction and light a cigarette, because he was back in that other room. He asks us who we are. That's what he does if you talk to him. And then he returns to smoking. I mean, God, if the Nazis don't blow up Eisenstadt, everyone's going to die of lung cancer in a couple of years anyway, so we're not really sure what we're doing here that's good. So let's gun all these guys down, and then we will return across this broken fence type thing, and he is now cowering. He fears our ways, so let's climb up here into a completely pointless area, actually. I have no idea why you could even get into this area. There's nothing here except a guy. It's really kind of stupid. So let's have a look up here and wiggle around, as we are prone to doing. He's shot the wall there. He's made sure that nothing will come through that wall. He is a powerful gentleman. Sometimes you get some ammo from these crates, but other times you don't, and this is one of them. So use wiggle your cigarette around your mouth.
They started that massive dig. Now they're taking over the hospital and they're building something in the old church.
It's almost like they're trying to make a video game or something.
Them however we can, so they'll get the hell out of here.
Right, okay. Ah, right, so we have another volunteer for Operation Cyborg Zombie Skeletons. That's brilliant. Now just bend over and we will inject you with this glowing blue shit. No, don't worry, it's only 3 or 4 times the lethal dose. You see, we tested the last one with 2 times the lethal dose. So now we are going to test you with 3 or 4. It doesn't really matter. We are sciencing. Anyway, so now that we have seen Gladys McCoward up there, we are not concerned with him a moment longer. I was looking for some gold there, but it wasn't there. That was just a pick-upable object that we could have picked up and thrown at Seth. But I didn't want to do that. It would have been too action-packed for this sewery action level section contraption-y thing. Anyway, here is the black market. These are the secret entrances, which would have been locked if we had come to them before, but now are not locked. So, let's go down here, get ourselves a bit more valeness, and then we will get the thing we're actually looking for down here, which is some gold, which is in here. There, it's hidden behind some stuff. There we go. That's 100 yards away from the black market. You'd have thought they'd have stolen it by now, but never mind. Let's go inside and have a look at what they've got to say for themselves. You, sir, what do you got?
We recently appropriated a box of crystals the Nazis had been shipping. I have no idea what they do, but we'd be happy to sell them to you.
I also found some stuff down the back of my fridge, and I can sell that to you for a couple of $1,000 as well.
And the young Russian
Incidentally, the guy next door knows what they are, so I'm not sure why he doesn't.
I can't imagine. What still puzzles me is why you're here in Eisenstadt now.
That puzzles me
Whatever
too.
the Nazis have unearthed must be valuable to the Allies too.
Well, yeah, you'd think, but we've already got it, so...
Nazis took something big from the dig site.
It's kind of in the fuel portal, since that would fit in a matchbox, but never mind.
What that might be?
Well, it was probably General
Have you ever
Zeta.
seen General Zeta, the commander of Eisenstadt?
Yes, he was in the large cupboard
I
truck.
have, but only once. And he seemed to know I was watching him.
It was
He's
because
a
I was
very
standing in front of him, I
unusual man.
think.
Pardon
Yes,
my
very
brother.
only unusual men know
He
that
can
you're
be
watching them.
somewhat
Also, why were you
overly
watching him, Stefan?
energetic
What are you
in
up
his
to?
pursuit
You
of
strange
business.
man.
But underneath it all, I know I can trust him because we're brothers.
Clumsy foreshadowing. Okay, so he can't talk right now, even though he just did, so we've got to go around here and we're going to have to speak to Anton, because that
Guten
man
Tag,
won't
my
talk to
friend.
us at all.
I heard about your exploits at the Nazi dig site.
I
Very
played fair.
impressive. You should know the price on your head has doubled. That makes
I'm
you the
glad,
most
yes.
valuable thing
I'm
in
guessing
here, I
given the
think.
pricing scheme that they have here, that
BJ,
money there is
before you
actually just for the
reach
empty
the
rounds
dig
in that Luger.
Apparently the
That's
Nazis
about
hauled
the
off
sort of
something
pricing
in a
scheme that
very
we have here, after all. Also, as
large
somebody
covered
pointed out on
truck.
the previous
I wonder
video,
what it was.
those are actually modern
If you see the
Deutschmarks
lovely
as opposed
Caroline,
to
so you have to stop wasting
period
your time on the
currency, so
Kaiser
they have
circle.
ballsed it
She
up.
can't save this town, but we could use someone like her.
I'm sure
I'm going
you
to have
could,
to
you
start taming
dirty
you, my
man.
friend. You have a way of causing large distractions I can put
Whoa.
to good use.
Okay, now Anton Kriegi doesn't even have an I can't talk right now message, he just stops talking. He is an efficient fellow. So anyway, let's go down here and go and spend our money on stuff. You, Dracula, what have you got for us? Now actually, Dracula has a couple of things here that we can't buy, including that M1911 there. He's got a couple of Browning automatic rifles behind the counter, and he's got some British sticky bombs at the back there as well, which you probably can't see very well. They are the round ones. So that's odd of him and strange. Anyway, we've got all the stuff we've unlocked now, so we can buy things with our monies and such. So we'll get the sniper scope for this, which makes it really useful. We will get the suppressor, which is probably a really bad idea actually, because realistically speaking, it's going to make give us 2 guns, which make cat sneezing sounds instead of 1, and if I'd thought about that, I'd probably have sold it, but unfortunately I've recorded all these up to airfield, so that's not going to help us out at all. Anyway, so we've got the big bore, the drum magazine, which is, again, from an MG42 or MG34, it's not from that gun at all, and for some reason I decided to not buy the big bore for this gun, even though it's the one I'm going to actually be using. The big bore upgrade makes it do double damage. It apparently rechambers it for a larger round, that's what big bore means, you see. It increases the size of the bore, but what it actually seems to be referring to, considering that it just reinforces the chamber, is firing overpressure rounds. But I guess they just thought that nobody would know what those were or something. So he's going to be filthy down there, the weird little degenerate. And then we'll be able to get out here and try out our newly freshened and upgraded weapons, we shall. So let's bust open this door and kill these buggers, we shall. So it still makes a fair bit of noise. It's not as bad as it could have been, but still, it's kind of pointless in this game anyway. There isn't really any meaningful stealth mechanics, so anyway, I died there due to grenades and silliness, so we will not have any of that going on. Instead, we will deal with these mans here by going into miry mode. You, sir, you are now mired. You have to admire it, don't you? No, you don't, and we're not going to be doing that joke anymore. I will tell you that straight away. We've got some ladderiness there, but we can't do that until this man has perished. So, now he has. That's nice of him. So, let's go around here. There's a couple more Nazis who have spawned up on the stairs, but we're going to deal with them. We've got guns, you see. We have our increasingly silly-looking rifle, which is covered in technology and bacon. So, let's go up here and use it on people. Unfortunately, the first proper mission we're going to do is going to be the one that doesn't get me my favorite upgrade for it, but that will be for the future. Firstly, we're going to be doing the side missions, specifically the warehouse, which is through over there, and we will be going on to that after I have finished nucleating these guys and looking around for more stuff. Hey, it's that guy from the introduction again, only he seems to have forgotten that. Yeah, as you can see, he's just got generic lines. It's a generic male character model. I think basically any character who doesn't have lines, who doesn't have a name is a generic model, even if, regardless of how important they turn out to be. So that's silly, especially since he should be recognizing us. He got us out of the train station, but never mind that. Anyway, up here there is a level transition-y place. You go through here, and then you get a loading gate, which gets you into Midtown East, which is the second mission-y hub, but we're not going there yet, because all of the stuff we've got to do is in Midtown West at the moment. So, now that we've done that, there's one more thing for us to get, and then we'll be off into the warehouse. I apologize for how drab these gold collection videos are. I'm going to endeavour to edit them down as much as possible, but you've got to see where all the gold is, otherwise this won't be a complete LP. Meanwhile, it's that scary statue from outside Denver Airport, only it's slightly less scary, and not even in the Vale is it scary. So they missed a trick there, by gum. So let's climb up these and we will find ourselves what is our reward. It is a red thing. That's great, it is. So there's a Dome of Power, we got another one, and then we have to do a really wonky thing over here. So jump over there and then we will climb up onto this eventually. This can take you a very large number of tries because apparently BJ is not capable of using his hands and neither is he capable of using this door. It's a fake door, it's a lie, I tell you, a lie. Yes, we can't go through that door, it's made of solid wood. What are you talking about? So let's have a look at this intelligence and see if it's the same as before. What have we got?
Due to the recent increase in criminal activity, there will be random security checks at the warehouse.
What we mean by this is that they will not be very consistent as opposed to that they will be adjaged, that's not a word, randomly. Maybe they should just shut down the black market next door to the warehouse, that might help. Okay, so that's another one threatening people. Great. So, that was another little transition-y thing. So, we will now quit out of that, and then we will be going to the warehouse. That'll be the next video, though. So, let's go in here and see what's going around. There we are. So, off to the warehouse we go, into another one of these loady screens, which is largely the fault of the Doom 3 engine that this is running. But never mind that. I'll get into that more in the next level. I've been Evil Tim, and this has been Wolfenstein. Goodbye. Yes.